Hello, hello, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, badass purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Welcome back to day 2 of the 7 days to 7 figures bootcamp. I'm so excited to be back with you today and to really serve some more with more amazing content that I know you will find very, very helpful. I thank so many of you that I've had the pleasure with connecting after the workshop yesterday for all the great feedback, all the great takeaways, and also for doing your homework. The homework part is our attempt to make sure that you are taking action with the content as is the most important part of anything that we do. So thanks so much for all the great takeaways. Thank you so much for coming by. And I'm excited to dive into more helpful content today with speaking about understanding your ideal client. Really understanding your ideal client is a very crucial thing in business, right? As we are always moving along and evolving and growing our business, we need to really be in tune with our ideal client. We need to understand, based on our marketing message, based on the focus that we have in our business, who is the person behind the door or behind the scenes or on our audience sitting there that we really connect with. Who is that person and how is it that we can ideally connect with them through our messaging and all the other efforts that we will be speaking about in the days to come. And this actually ties in today with creating a sales system pillar. Yesterday we spoke about the 7 pillars to building a 7-figure business. So connect with your ideal client is one of those, one of the most important pillars, one of the very important pillars about creating your sales system. So let's dive into the workbook. You should find today's content on day 2, which is the page 2. So today we'll be speaking about what are the 2 most important client commodities and that people are always going for, right? What is it that we always care about? And before I go into the content, just make sure you let me know where you are connecting from. I love that we have such a global community here. So let me know and drop it in the chat where you are connecting from so that I can say hi to you and we can connect on that level as well. So while you are doing that, the 2 most important things, commodities that people always care about is we're always trying to buy more time or we trying to get more money, right? We're always trying to increase our income or we're trying to shorten the time that it takes us to actually achieve a certain result, right? And this can be applied in any area of your business, any area of impact that you have with your offer, with your business model. This is applicable in all these different angles. So especially with the coaching industry, with the mentorship industry, which I personally have fallen in love with because you shorten the time, right? You shorten someone's time to go and get a specific result. Time, what is that saying? I always say that money buys speed, right? In time. So you pay money so that you can actually get the result that you want faster. So that's just another example of what I'm saying with as far as the 2 main commodities that people are always going for. So they're trying to get more time or more money. And honestly, I would say personally, the most important commodity is time because you can create more money, but you cannot get back more time, right? So that is always the most important commodity. People buy with their emotions. So when people purchase anything, when we buy anything, we buy with our emotions and then we justify with logic. That's just how we work as human beings, right? 4 on the most important areas in whatever your business is serve, in whatever impact that you are making, is always going to be in the area of wealth, happiness, relationships, and health. Those are the 4 main areas that we are always going to be investing in. And that always ties in with that emotion. As I said, when we are buying, our trigger is always the way that we want to feel. So we always are buying things because of the emotion that we want to feel, and then later on we justify with logic. I think that's a very important part to always remember in your business, because you know what is the buying triggers, what is the behavior, why do your people buy, and how is it that what you have to offer with your program or your offer is something that is really connecting emotionally for your ideal client, so that you are building trust, and also you are speaking their pain point language, so they can see your offer as the solution to the problem that they're trying to solve. Yeah, absolutely, Audrey. So the four areas are health, happiness, and relationships. All right. So wealth, health, happiness, and relationships. By the way, hi to my ladies here on Zoom today, Joyce and Audrey so far. I'm glad you are here. And let me just take a peek at all the comments here on our community. I want to see where you are speaking from. So, yeah, we have Boston, Barbados, amazing, Canada. Hello, hello, hello. Truly, truly international. Mexico, Audrey is connecting from. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for letting me know that. So, yeah, those are the four areas. Next thing I want to go into is actually qualifying our buyers, because once we are really in tune with who our buyer is and who our ideal client is, then obviously we need to put them through a qualification process, because not everyone that is in our audience, we don't, obviously, if we don't have a relationship with them, if we haven't really nurtured our relationship yet, then we don't know what phase and stage they might be in the buying process, right? Whether what we have to offer is something that is timely for them based on the need they have, and then the want that they have to really solve the problem that your offer, helps them solve. So really understanding where your buyer is in the journey is a very important point and crucial point in you really making sure that you are at the right, with speaking to the right person at the right time based on the need and the one that they have for your offer. So I will go over four of the main foundational pieces that we need to know when we are actually qualifying our buyer. So the first one is price, right? That's always the first one. Can they afford you? We need to understand that in order for us to attract the right type of buyer, I mean, the main pain point in the market is that people don't, attract the right buyer. And the number one objection is always price, right? So before we even get to speaking to somebody and qualifying them on a call with us, then obviously we want to make sure that this is already taken care of and we have a good idea over, can this person actually afford our offer? Is that the right buyer? And getting closer and closer to really being in clarity with that. So that would be the first one. The next one is, where have they invested before, right? I mean, as human beings, we pretty much, how we do one thing, we do everything. So how we do one thing, we do everything. So obviously, whatever we have repeated in the past or whatever in the past, we're going to repeat it again. So really understanding your buyer's decision-making process and where have they invested before. Hello, Shatan. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Alana.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we were just chatting about and going over qualifying your ideal client and qualifying your buyer. So I was just saying that the first important thing is really the price, whether they can afford you. The next thing is, where have they actually invested before? Because like I said, we are creatures of habit and we like familiarity. So if we have invested before, let's say in a product or offer that you are actually also helping with or serving your client with, you want to really know, if they have invested in this area before. Have they invested in the area? Maybe you are a health coach, right? And you are helping them with, losing weight or feeling more energetic, right? Have they invested in this area before? And what their experience has been like, right? Because that's going to dictate the way that they're actually going to show up on a call, on a connection call with you, And a lot of the things, maybe their past experience hasn't been so positive, that's going to be showing up on the call with you as well. So really understanding, what their past buying behaviors are is very, very crucial. The next thing is, do they have the need for what we offer? Right? Do they have the need? And as entrepreneurs, I think for this one, we kind of can intuitively pick it up much faster, because we know our program or our offer, and we have experience with serving past clients before. So we can pinpoint, very easily whether someone has a need for what we are offering. But the other thing is they need to have a want for it as well. Right? I don't know how many times I meet my ideal client and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have a need for what I offer because I can so help you. But if they are not looking for someone to get a help in this area, then that's still not the right match at the right moment in time, right? I always say all the universe has to align and this person has to be looking for you. Of course, there's other ways that we can go about this, with our marketing and our messaging. As I speak and I spoke about, I touched upon it, and we'll dive deeper into it because more people had questions over like which type of content should we create and all of that, so we can nurture the relationships, we can build trust and all of that. You can do lots of educational content, obviously, to really warm up the person towards you and build a know, like, and trust factor. And that could also get them a little bit closer to the buying timing. So, there's more we can do about that, but we need to surround ourselves with the right people in our audience in order for us to really, get to the point where they also want what you have to offer and are looking for the solution that you have to offer. So in other words, the want and the need has to match perfectly, right? It has to be the perfect timing. They're looking for someone and you are showing up. I love some of my clients tell me when the student is looking for the teacher shows up. It's because we know, we are at that point. And I love that saying because it's so true. When we know that we have the awareness now through education and through your amazing content that you put out there that I need this, now there's an opening. Now there's an awareness that I do need this service and this is how it's going to help me meet my goals in whatever area we spoke about before. But of course, in order to get to the point of I also want to and I'm ready to invest in something like this, that's exactly what we're trying to bridge the gap between where they are and, is this the right timing? So they actually see the result that you are providing as the right thing that they need. And then of course, there's many things as far as objections that we overcome because there's a lot of fear with investments. That's why understanding their background, where they have actually invested before, is going to be crucial because now you understand much more clearly where they are and how to help them through this process, to guide them through the process so they can actually overcome all of that and be able, so you can serve them at a higher level. I always say, you need to be guiding your buyer to the end result, which would be, enrolling in your program, let's say, because that's when you can serve them at a higher level. But a lot of times we have to understand how the process works in order for the person to get there. And the other thing is decision making, right? A lot of times with businesses, there's partners involved. People always want to, refer to or consult with their husband or wife, right? A lot of times we have other people in our life that, we need to consult. Not that we need permission, most of us, especially, I would say driven business women, we're very used to making decisions if we see the value in it. But a lot of times not everyone is in that mind space. So really understanding who is going to be part of the decision making and, having a great awareness over that and really inviting the other person with you on the call as well, right? So if there is someone else making a decision, can I also maybe speak to both of you so that you have a chance to overcome any objections, answer any questions, give as much clarity as you can to both parties. So those are four of the main ways that we are actually qualifying our buyers as well. So guys, let me know in the comments if this is resonating, if it's too much information. Sometimes I tend to do that. So Let me know if any of this is resonating, or just let me know if there's any of these things that's giving you like clarity right now, maybe of what you have tried with potential buyers and maybe you haven't been so successful with not knowing one of these main pillars and components. All right, Joyce says she's from California. Trisha is from Arkansas. Amazing. Awesome. All right, anything comes up, let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, I'll keep going so that we stay within the 30 minutes for our content today as well. So in your business, the other part is we're always attracting two types of clients, right? We're attracting a price conscientious client or a value-driven client. Someone that is constantly looking for the cheapest price, and that is someone that's always oriented towards that, or someone that sees the value and wants the best thing for the result that they're trying to achieve. So obviously we need to attract the value buyer, right? We need to attract the person that is going to see the value and is also going to be in the mindset of really investing in what you have to offer with your business as well. So that's another distinction a lot of times when we're getting a lot of price objections. It's also, of course, there's so much behind that. There's fear, there's mindset, there's maybe the person hasn't really seen how, the results that you're able to create are going to be a good investment for what they're offering, but also it might be an indication that might be a price buyer, right? Someone that is maybe not looking for the best solution, is looking for the best price. So that's sort of something to wean out so that you understand the value and you understand the difference between both of these things. And like I said, just tying it into yesterday's pillars, this is where the sales system comes into place, right? Really having a system, a process and a system in place so that you are actually walking your buyers through the process so that, you eventually can enroll them into the offers that you have going on in your business. But again, it's so much behind the scenes that goes on. And the more you really understand, your ideal client and the more conversations you have, the more you can be always, I always say, you always must be listening, you always must be marketing, you always must be hiring, and you always must be creating content, right? So those are like the things that constantly must be happening in your business. And just like, that example, even with your buyer, you're always, everyone you speak to, you must be, understanding and getting more information on the language that they're using, right? Because that is exactly the language that you need to be adapting in all the things that you do, because that's, those are some of the things that your buyer, not only when they speak about the results they want, but also, when they describe their pain points and their problems. And that is, I always say, great information that you can always have, especially questions your audience always asking you. You always want to be paying attention to all of that because that's content right there. It's questions that people are already asking. So rather than kind of brainstorm, and I can touch upon content a little bit here since we're speaking about it, rather than brainstorm, what is it I need to create? I mean, it's already coming from your buyer's mouth. So listen to, the questions they're answering and everything that they're going through so you could take that and not only adapt it on your consultation calls, but also on the content that you create. The difference between content and Lorna, I think Lorna is going to join us later because we chatted privately, but, Lorna asked the question over like, our stories always do the best, right? Our personal content always do the best. There is value. We're supposed to be providing value-based content 80% of the time, and 20% of the time do our calls to action, sales, consultation. Those are also very important because if you've been doing the 80% of value-driven content, then, you also need to give your audience an opportunity to work with you at a different level, at a higher level. So there is value in also doing your calls of, I have my calendar open, I have this going on, maybe this is a great offer for you to be part of. but 80% of our content needs to be value driven. And I spoke about the power of storytelling. With anything that we do, we can just storytell, and we can share experiences, and we can share our customer journeys and our own personal journeys, because we identify with stories. I mean, you can take your message in a great way through sharing a story, rather than kind of just speaking to your audience, and not speaking with them, so that you're actually taking them behind the scenes and you're co-creating. We always want to be part of something, especially when you are in a community. For me, it's very important to do things together, co-create together. What is it that we need to do together, so that we are actually people feeling part of something, because we need that, we want that. So that's why always storytelling is always going to be the best communication strategy that you have, or the way that you are actually presenting, whether you are doing that on your lives, or you're writing a post, or you're participating in someone else's interview, or you're increasing your visibility through that as well. Those are always great ways, so that people connect with you. And like I said, we always connect with imperfect things, right? Vulnerable moments, because we're all human and we have them. A lot of times we just don't have, the gut to share, all the things behind the scenes. But I think once you have a point to why you're sharing it, there's also something that happens with social media when there's a lot of vulnerability sharing, but there's no point to that. There's got to be a point to why you're sharing that message, right? Something that maybe you've been there, and here's kind of what you have learned along along the way. So tying it to your main message and tying it to your offer is going to be also very crucial. It's not enough to just kind of just throw our stuff out there without a main point of why we are actually doing that. And obviously it should be a genuine way of storytelling, of saying, how did you get into the thing that you're doing? There's different types of content that you could do besides value driven content. The best one, the easiest one, is how-to content. That is great to increase your visibility, but also give value. Hey, like 5 ways how to grow your business, I don't know, to 10K next month, or 5 ways to increase your to I don't know, make your habits better in your health, right? 5 ways to it. The more you can headline it, and the more you can give people nuggets of wisdom and information, the better. And today's, because attention span is going less and less, the content that you can be short and sweet with is always going to perform the best, right? So that is one type of content. And then the other one is to really, instill your brand in the market, and really make sure that you are the leader in the market, and you are positioning yourself really strongly, is the things that you can serve to the gap. Why are you different? What do you see that's a problem? What do you stand for? What are your beliefs around something? Don't be afraid to share that, because that's what makes you unique. You're not just kind of just replicating what's already been regurgitated in the market. You're standing for something different. You see something that's not happening, and you have given it a voice. You're not, nudging anyone, of course. It's always on the positive end, but I have an opinion over things that I think could be different, and I make sure that I share them in my content. That is the best way for you to, instill your authority in the market as well, and really start to become visible, and to, become the thought leader. So that increases your visibility, and increases also the perception of your brand, right? Especially when it comes to price, it's all perception. I mean, you could charge something a certain amount of money, and for me, it might seem like a lot because of my prior experience, or maybe I've been burned before, or maybe, I don't value that as much as you do. And for you, it could be completely different, right? So you want to, also tie in all these different components in your brand with your pricing, the perception, the results you provide, your content, all these different components that are going to really build you, really position you really well in the market as well, so that people have that credibility around you, and you are visible, which is so important, right? Because again, out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're not always there, and I love it because people always like, I see you everywhere. I'm like, okay, Great. That means that I am visible and I'm serving and I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. It's like, if it's a thing, but that's how you know that you have the impact on there, even though a lot of times, like I said, you don't always get the reaction because people, if they're, if they don't feel, pulled enough to comment or make a like or, love on your post, it doesn't matter. They still heard it because a lot of times you see the views and those don't match a lot of times. I wish, we have another metric to how really, check who is viewing your videos and all of that. That would be great because then you have more insight into connecting with people. But anyway, I think it's privacy issues. I've looked into that as far as like the algorithm and the way that the platforms operate. But my point is that, if you hear that, that means you are visible, you're out there, you're serving, you're doing your part. And of course, the results, when people come to you, it's like they already know you. It should become that conversation. And I talk about this often because I love doing things that make me feel like I'm not doing something, I don't have an agenda behind what I'm doing. I love genuine connection. I love matching those those points and the timing is right and you're looking for me and I'm looking for you and how is it that we can help each other? Like for me, like that's my ultimate goal with everything that I do. I never wanted to be a tactic or a strategy or an agenda that is hidden. I want it to be genuine. That's why I make sure that I learn as much as I can. And I'm also pinpointing and connecting all these different things so that conversations become about human relationship. Where are you? Where am I? How is it that we can help each other based on where we are at this moment? I feel like, that is always my goal and your content can do that. It has that much power. So that's why it's very own pillar in the fundamental pillars that I spoke about yesterday, as far as, creating the base and the foundation in your business. All right. That's all I had for you guys today. Let me know in the comments, like I said, any questions, any takeaways, anything that kind of sort of, propped up from today's session. Tomorrow's homework is which buyer, based on the information today, which buyer are you currently attracting your business at this time? So let me know. I'll post the homework thread inside the group as well. And let me know, where are you with that so that we can move the conversation further, and let me know any takeaways, any moments or anything as far as homework. My inbox is open. Julia's, my amazing community manager's inbox is open. So just let us know anything that we can do, even with the replays for the content for the days that you are not able to make it. We created actually a messenger group with all the challenge participants for more support and for more sharing of the replays and all the homework and all the content. So I think most of you are part of that, but if you're not, just let me know on Messenger and I'll be able to add that to you as well.
I do have a question, Ilona. If as a coach, if the person that is attracted to what the content you're producing, that you're bringing out, and you see that they are, and you're kind of pulling them in. Once you talk to them, if they tell you that they are currently seeing a therapist, how do you intervene in that as a coach, or do you just, because obviously, they know they need healing, they already know something is going on, they need to talk to somebody, that whole thing. Do you just let them continue with the therapist? Do you still continue to try to get to know them? Like, is that a fine line? How does that go?
Yeah, it's very similar to, I think, from understanding your question, right, is if that's an objection, right? They're already seeing someone, so maybe the timing is not right. It's back to what I was saying with the timing not being right, because they already know they have a need. They are aware that they have a need, and they also want solutions. So they're obviously working with someone else. It's the same that when I come across my audience and people tell me I'm already working with a business coach, right? So I think it's the same idea. I'm very insightful. So I would want to know more about, I'm glad that you are getting the support. What is it specifically that made you decide on your coach, right? What is the things that, speak to you that made you make that decision? And also asking them, what's in the program? What is being taught? How is the relationship going? Are they getting their needs met? Are they getting the results from their current experience, right? Because again, you want to know as much information as possible about where they are in the journey, because not only do you want to ensure that you're also improving your service and your offer based on what's already out there in the market, but here's an opportunity to listen from your audience right then and there, or from the person that you're speaking to. And then I always, have a way for them to connect with me still, because, depending on how long the relationship is, I mean, most people hire therapists for a couple of months, right? Depending on how long their relationship is. For me, let's say they need a business coach, so maybe they're in a program that they're working with someone for 6 months. I would still offer them value. I would still send them some resources, maybe send them to my group, or maybe share a podcast episode from my podcast that applies to them based on where they are and based on where our conversation is going, so that I am still serving, even though obviously the timing is not right and they actually have their needs met by someone else at this point, which is still okay. But I wouldn't just, give up the conversation, because at the end of the day, we're humans, or this person might know someone else. At the end of the day, I always say the core of it all should be a good human. Even though right now that's not a great fit, maybe this person knows somebody, and I get a lot of referrals that way as well. It's like, I'm currently seeing somebody, but I love your stuff. You're always available. I've been building a great relationship with the person. They're like, I just know someone that might need you, and people connect me. So you never know, again, the power of your network is all the people that they know. I've learned this early on, and because I used to be so focused on the one person in front of me, but until I learned that it's a whole, all the people they know, all the people. So you're not just speaking to Alona, you're speaking to my whole network of people that I know, even though I might not be at the right need for your thing that you have to offer me. I know someone that did, but because I like you, you're a good human, we build trust, you still are there for me, you're still attempting to give me resources and to help me through whatever I'm going through, I'm going to remember you. You're going to stand out. So keep nurturing the relationship, I would say, and follow up with that person, check in with them. How's it going? Top of mind, just like anything. How's it going? Are you getting your goals met? Follow up in a couple of, depending on your timeline with the conversation, but always follow up. The magic is in the follow up.
Okay,
That's
that's
where,
perfect.
yeah.
That's
Always,
perfect. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Awesome. Audrey said, I'd like to connect with all you ladies here and get to know you. Absolutely. Go ahead and connect with one another. You're all part of the Facebook group. So start those DM conversations. That's the beauty of relationships, and also, being part of a community. So that would definitely encourage you guys to connect with one another. That's another great point, and a great way to make use of our time together. Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Thank you for coming back. And tomorrow we will be speaking about, on day 3, how to stand out. So I'll start tying in more information on how to really build that authority and build that brand that we talked about on day 1, and how to start standing out from the crowd, how to really make your message clear, how to have that authority marketing out there where you are selling and you're serving the gap and you're speaking to the things that you don't already see that you care about. So that's going to be some of the main components that we will be speaking about tomorrow. So come back for day 3, same time, same place. And as usual, let me know if there's any support through Messenger or our Facebook community group. Bye for now. Have a great
All right,
day.
bye. Thank you, Alona.
Problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.